Good evening. Nice little crowd tonight. Welcome to Harmony House. Once again, I see some familiar faces. Anybody here for the first time this evening? Oh, you're all repeaters, huh? Good evening, Zoomers. How are you? I hope we hear from you tonight in the chat. I know we have a speaker who would love to hear your voices, and of course, those in the room also. So my name is Louise, and I alternate emceeing with Michelle, who will be with you not next week. We don't have a session on Thanksgiving or in Thanksgiving week, but Michelle will be here the week after. I believe it's the 30th, to close off our beautiful, beautiful month of blessings, right? So the theme for the month is create counting blessings. And this evening we are going to talk about inhaling blessings and exhaling gratitude. That's the topic for this evening. So I want you to think about what's going on in your body right now. Well, you're breathing. I know that for a fact. I'm breathing too. But if you could label I'm not going to ask you to volunteer. I know you're always shy in the beginning of the hour, but if you could label what your breath is doing at this very moment, if you could give it an adjective or give it a verb, are you sitting here inhaling blessings? Are you sitting here hoping to inhale blessings? Are you hoping to leave exhaling gratitude? Or are you perhaps not ready to do that because you've had a hard day? Because you've had some problem that you wanted to leave at the door, but you forgot, right? Okay, so what we're asking you to do this evening is to just relax with us and inhale what we provide here. And we want to inhale what you're providing. Let me let you in on a little tiny secret, a Brahmin secret. We really do believe that the air isn't just air. We really do believe that the air speaks whatever we put into it. We believe in the vibrational energy that never dies. And we call that incognito. I can bless someone in Europe right now who's suffering. I can bless someone in the Middle East. And my vibrational energy has stopped any negative thinking for that moment. It's really decided to bless someone else. And you don't know who's blessing you, you know? So think about the air not just being what you smell, not just being what you can sometimes feel as though you're tasting, but the air being another, maybe a sixth way to perceive the world and to contribute to the world in a positive way. And that's what we do around here. Okay, so don't take yourself for granted. Anyway, I'm sure Sister Sandhya will speak a whole lot more on this topic. And I do want to tell you that Sister Sandhya, I know I say this every week, but the sisters here and the brothers are just such amazing people. And I have to admit, have favorites that I've studied with, become closer to. And Sister Sandhya is one of those people I can go to anytime I choose to. She's someone whose wisdom and knowledge and levity and lightness just colors my day whenever I look in her eyes, whenever I look in the third eye, you know. I will tell you, she's an IT professional. This is what, are you retired? No, you're still working, right? Okay. Oh my, look at that. These are Energizer bunnies. All of these people in white are really Energizer bunnies all day and all night. So, and she's been a student and a teacher of Raja Yoga meditation for over 30 years. And she is such an inspiration because she takes what she learns here and she walks with it in her professional life. And that's what a lot of these people that are still working, these sisters and brothers, that's what they do. They may wear business clothes, but it's the interweaving of your everyday, ordinary life with some of the things you've been learning here. And if you're coming every week, how many of you are learning? You're learning to be a little bit more peaceful? Raise your hand if you feel that some part of this has kind of rubbed on. Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, let her speak to you herself. And the flyer said, let us together explore the harmonious flow of appreciation and abundance by inhaling it and exhaling it. Sister Sandhya, and I will tell you that Brother Raj is not going to be joining her on stage this evening. You want to wave? Okay, he is here. Okay, thank you.
Om Shanti, good evening. Can you all hear me clearly? Okay, I do see a lot of familiar faces. I love seeing friends. Anyone wants to come forward? You're all comfortable where you are. I came up all the way from the back. All right, welcome. Happy Diwali. Last Sunday was Diwali. Happy Thanksgiving coming up next Thursday. A beautiful time of the year, right? So when I was thinking about what I want to share today, I'm going to go a little on a tangent. Many of you know we have been doing insight sessions for a very long time. Maybe as long as you have been associated with Harmony House, if I'm right. Every Thursday, we have an insight session. So I was thinking about it today and I had this question. What is insight? I know we have a topic every day and we pay attention to it, but have you thought about what is insight? Anyone? And I promise you it's related to the topic. You've all had it in your life. I'm sure everyone has experienced insight. Yes. Intuition. Very good. Anyone else? I don't see anything on Zoom here. It's not on. But even on Zoom, if you have any thoughts, you can just put it on your chat. So I was thinking about it. Insight is not just regular understanding. So I'm saying something, you're hearing, you're listening, and you understand. This is not insight. So what I'm sharing is not insight. Insight is many times a profound understanding that dawns on you, unaware. You're just listening. The regular things we all follow, right? Like you are understanding what I'm saying. And I understand from your face expressions that you're following me and you're having a conversation. But insight is different from that. Many times it's like an aha moment. It just dawns on you and it didn't dawn until then. You didn't know about it. And many times when that happens, your understanding of either the person or a situation or something that's happening in your life completely transforms, completely changes. You wouldn't even have thought that, oh, I could look at it this way. You may not have thought about it, but it just clicks. That's what we call an insight. I am hoping you all have at least one insight today. But the idea of an insight is many think I can't make it happen. Can you make it happen? Has anyone been able to make that happen? Like, I just want to have an insight. Have you tried? Usually, we think it cannot happen. It doesn't happen. When it does, it's magic. But many of us don't know how to make it happen. Are you with me? All right. Now, what are some examples of insight? And I want to take some of the biggest examples. Mostly you will see scientists, right? They're working on something very, very seriously. And as they're working on it, there will be a moment when something clicks and they have found something that they couldn't find until then while they were looking at it so closely. There are lots of examples of this, right? Have you heard of Archimedes? He was a Greek philosopher and scientist. He's very well known, popular because of what he found in science, but also because he was in a bathtub. Suddenly, when he had this insight, and it was one of the biggest principles when it comes to liquids. Many things like this. And if you have heard me speak anytime in the past, you would have heard another example I talk about, which is in chemistry. I don't know, I'm such a geek, all science examples I'm giving you, but I'm going to move, right? They talk about a molecule called benzene. No one knew much more about it. They talked about it in a regular way. One day, the scientist, it clicked on him how the structure is. And when it did, it created a whole field of science called organic chemistry, which never existed until then. No one knew how to even study that. That's what I'm calling an insight. Now, this happens even in other areas like literature and poetry and music. Have you heard a song that kind of feels like your heart moves? Have you heard music like that? Have you heard songs like that? Did you hear this song now that Brother Eric played? Did it move you? Did you hear the song? Breathe on Me? No? Breathe on Me, God? It was a very beautiful song. Most of these composers, how do they come up with these? Not all songs touch us. Not all music touches us. How do they come up with these compositions? Mostly, if you check, you will see that they go into silence. And when they are in that moment, this inspiration comes, and they don't even know from where it comes, it just comes. Those inspirations that come, these are some of the greatest compositions, the most beautiful songs, the greatest literature. You know, in the Hindu path, there are many texts we have, the Vedas, the Upanishads, and it's told they never write who is the author of all these texts. Because they say these sages, they just sat and they were inspired and the words just flowed. So they don't feel like it's they are the authors. They don't feel like I did this. It just came to them. You understand what I'm saying? This is insight. It comes from a very deep space within us. And there is a way to have insights regularly. Like have insights often, increase how many insights we have. If I were to ask amongst you, have any one of you had at least one insight? Can I see hands? I would just want to know if you're following me because I'm sure everyone has had, but it may not be in poetry or anything, but even in your day-to-day life, when you look at a person, you've been interacting in a certain way, suddenly you're like, it clicks. Jennifer, yes, right? You've shared many times with me about it, I know. It usually happens when you are quiet, when you are silent. So the way to get insights, if you really want to get insights, many people think we have to work hard, we have to try hard, we have to think more, we have to get more information, then we will understand. But it's actually the other way. Insights come when you quiet yourself. So for those of you who came in a few minutes earlier, like about, I think around 6:45, we played a little breathing exercise. How many of you were there when we played that? It was very nice, wasn't it? So for many, how many of you know how to quiet your mind? Do you know how to quiet your mind? How many of you struggle to quiet your mind? I am up for both. It happens both ways for me. So for those who find it difficult to quiet your mind, one of the easiest way to start is by breathing. You can't tell me I'm already breathing, right? But you're breathing involuntarily. You don't know that you're breathing. So take a moment, sit nice, alert. When your mind is moving in all directions and you're not able to bring it back into focus, and this is a technique that was taught long, long ago in the Indian tradition. As soon as they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is pranayama. It's about a breathing exercise. So let's do it now, just for a moment, right? The idea is not to get stressed, not to get pushed, just relax, sit alert. Bring all of your awareness to your breath. Just become aware that you're breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Wherever your thoughts go, just bring it back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Just observe how it feels. As the air goes in and goes out. If you feel sleepy, just pay attention to not fall asleep. The idea is just to be alert and focused. Beautiful. Now, slowly become aware that you're not just the one who's breathing, you are the observer of your breath. You're just observing yourself breathing in and breathing out. Let's come back to the room. Does it feel good? It always feels good to breathe, right? But this is the simplest of techniques to bring the focus of your mind to center yourself. The simplest. Now, when we talk about meditation, you can do many more steps after that, but the first step is to bring your focus to the center. And the way to do it is breathing. So anytime when it's too difficult, you can't think of anything else, the first thing you do is breathe. Simple, right? It's something we have done all our life. We just do it with focus. Why am I saying this? Because when you start breathing with focus, you become quiet. slowly, this space that you are in, when you're quiet and calm, this is the space of generating insights. It's like suddenly, when you're calm, you're able to see things differently. Understand something that you have been, kind of breaking your head about instantly. Something that you have not been able to solve in a long time. It happens. It happens in this space of quietness and silence. Now, why am I talking so much about this? I told you, trust me, it's connected to the topic of the day. Now, that is insights. What is insight? It's a profound understanding of something that you didn't have. You don't even know where those answers came from, how you got to that thought. And this space that you're in, for those of you who are in Harmony House today, this space inspires insights. There are spaces that help you, right? One is when you breathe and you're calm and quiet. But you will see the same thing that you did here. When you go out and do it in your own space, it's slightly different. This space carries an energy that allows insights to happen. And I'm saying this to you from my own experience. There is a lot of energy in this hall because this is the space in which this has been done a lot. Everyone comes here, practices, teaches, does meditation. So such spaces make it easy to go into a space of quietness where there can be insights. So I want to congratulate you. You're all the lucky ones. When we opened up Harmony House, right? The first thing we were thinking is, who are those fortunate ones who are going to be able to come in person? So this place has that magic. And I'm feeling it as I'm sitting here and sharing with all of you. That's insight. Now, what is the connection between insight and blessings? What is a blessing? What is a blessing for you? What would you consider a blessing? Those of you on Zoom, if you want to put it on chat, feel free to do that. But anyone amongst you, have you experienced a blessing? Yeah? No. If you have, no one put your hand up when we asked you, are you coming here for the first time? Is there anyone coming for the first time? No, you've come here before. That means you definitely got a blessing. Am I right? Am I right? Have any one of you experienced a blessing? Any time in your life? All of you, right? Have you given a blessing to anyone at any time? Maybe your child, maybe your spouse, your friend, someone in need, someone who's having a hard time. What is this blessing? What did you do? Or what was done to you? Anyone? All right. Thank you. Listening to that is a blessing. Mm-hmm. 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 So it could be a good wish, right? It could be a good wish you have for someone. Sometimes you pray for someone. Am I right? You want something good to happen to them. So blessings comes in two forms. It is that you wish good upon someone, or you want to guide them in the right direction somewhere, right? This is what is called a blessing. Now, when nice things happen in life, it's a blessing, right? Today is a good day. I got up in the morning. Everything felt good. I'm able to do what I want to do. Blessing. I woke up. I was breathing. I was not in pain. Everything is okay with the world still. Is that a blessing? Is that a blessing? Sometimes it's a blessing to go to work. Sometimes it's a blessing not to go to work, right? Now, but what about the times when things are not going the way we want them to go? There are times like that in your life. It happens sometimes, right? Now, when those happen, or I'm with a person who's being difficult or something, we kind of feel that it's hard. Why is this happening to me? Right? And then you do what happens to you? You start having thoughts. Am I right? Different thoughts, different feelings. Have you had that experience? Mostly it's a lot of thoughts, negative thoughts. Why should this happen to me? Why are they doing this to me? Why can't she be nicer? Why can't things be better? Have you had these questions come inside sometimes? We all have had our times, right? Now, for a moment, step back. When any situation comes in front of you, instead of having those thoughts, remember what you practiced just before? What did you practice? Breathing, right? Very good. Instead, if you try to center yourself and say, hold on, whatever is happening. Can I become quiet for a moment? I will accept whatever is happening. I won't say it's wrong, it shouldn't happen. Stop. Can I be quiet? Many times you will find that if you are able to do that, become quiet in that moment, you will actually have an insight. You will see things in a way that you were never able to see before. Are you with me? The practice of breathing, centering, and meditation that you do constantly when everything is okay is because when something is not okay or you feel something is not okay, I'm able to quiet myself. And when I do that, I usually have a profound insight into what is happening right there. This is called a blessing. Are you with me? The blessing is not that everything is okay. It may seem not okay. I may not understand. But when I quiet myself, I have the ability to see differently. And I understand something that I never understood before. So every insight in life comes as a blessing. And how do you get to that point? How do you start? How do you increase your insights? By breathing, by focusing on your breath. Start there. This is called inhaling blessings. Not that everything in the world will be okay, everything will be as I want it to be. But through my quieting myself, using the breath, I can actually transform what is happening, what is being said, into a blessing for myself. Am I making sense to you? Are you with me on this? For a moment, right? Let's do it again. Leave everything. Bring back your breath to center yourself. Any thought on the outside, leave it outside. Anything that pulls you, leave it behind. Come back to your center. Day in and day out. This is the practice we need. When anything around me seems wrong, incorrect, unjust, I will use this ability to center myself, become quiet, silent, and in this silence, I will find a new truth. Something I never knew before. Something I couldn't see before. And that insight turns it into a blessing. I have become wiser. I have become more peaceful. Let me tell you a story of an insight I had in this room. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. We were having a class. We usually have a class every Sunday here, actually every day, but every Sunday we have a big gathering. So one Sunday we had a class, and after the class, around 10 o'clock or 10:15, we were supposed to have a meeting downstairs, a big meeting of 100 people. And I was supposed to do something for that meeting, some preparation. And I hadn't done any preparation. I didn't have the time. Whatever the reason, I wasn't able to focus. I couldn't prepare anything. So I was sitting here after class thinking, I should just find a way of going right after the class so I don't have to go downstairs to the meeting, because I didn't want to show everyone that I didn't know anything or I didn't prepare. So this thought, and I'm sure many of you have had this experience, it comes from some kind of fear, I guess. But this thought kept coming back to my mind. Find a way to leave. Sandhya, just find a way to leave. That's all you need to do. Then you don't have to face anything. So usually around 9 o'clock, one of our senior sisters, those of you who know, Sister Moini comes and we all kind of meditate together and we offer bhog to God. It's about 15, 20 minutes of meditation that we have. And I was sitting in that corner. I have a seat there. I usually sit there every time. We were sitting in this meditation, and it was very, very powerful. The meditation in this hall is always very powerful. And I actually, this thought of mine, right? What was my thought? You remember? Can I find a way to get out of here, right? I lost that thought. I just, started remembering God, and I just felt calm and quiet, and I sat there. And I had this insight, and I think it's a very, very important insight in my life because it's changed many things in my life. How many of you know NFL? You have seen schools or colleges when they play the games where people are trying to figure out who are the right players here that we can recruit into NFL. You're aware of this whole thing, right? Most of you, I guess, know this. Recruiting for NFL, So in colleges, when everyone is playing, right? There are two teams playing. One team wins, one team loses, right? And most of the players, their focus is on, I should win. Am I right? But while the game is going on, whether your team wins or you lose, there are people sitting in there. They're called scouts. What do the scouts do? They don't care which team wins or which team loses. What do? I can't hear you. They want to know who's the best player there, right? They don't care whether your team wins or loses. And suddenly I had this vision that God was looking at me, not to see when I go down, am I going to do a great meeting? Am I going to say the right things? Is everyone going to be impressed? That's not what he's looking at. He's just looking to see what is my state of mind, what is my intention when I'm going there and doing something. That day, I think, changed the way I start looking at things when I do something. Now, when I do anything, I'm never thinking about what are they going to say? What is this? No, I'm thinking, I have to do it right because there is someone beyond all of this who's looking at me. You understand this? I call this an insight because that's something I never thought of. And I didn't even know NFL and stuff. So I don't even know how this came to me that day. But when that came, it's a blessing because it changed completely the way I look at things from there on. That's why I say when you center yourself and you start breathing and you become quiet, you're creating blessings for yourself. It doesn't matter what's happening around you. You are breathing in blessings. So every time when you sit down and you focus and you quiet yourself, remember, I am breathing in blessings because I am creating that space in which everything that's around me can become a blessing. When this happens, automatically, what is the feeling that comes in your heart? What is the feeling that comes in the heart? When you are blessed, when in your every breath there is blessing, what is the feeling that comes in the heart? Love, gratitude. Very good. Sorry? Contentment. You feel fulfilled. You feel gratitude. Right. What is gratitude? It's the season of Thanksgiving. What is gratitude? Very good. Very good. The root word from which gratitude comes, it means grace, graciousness, and gratefulness. Grace, graciousness, gratefulness. Because everything within me that's coming in is a blessing. So automatically I feel gratefulness. Many of you at this time are looking at Thanksgiving, right? How do you practice gratitude? What are the things you can do? What do you do? How do you practice gratitude? Very good. Very good. I like that. One, there are three things that you can do. One, when you reflect, think about all the blessings in your life. Those that come as blessings, those you have made into blessings. Reflect on them. And I like what you said. You can write. You can write down something that you're grateful for the first thing in the morning. Reflect, write down. Third, when you interact with someone, share a thank you. These are 3 ways to practice. And many times when thoughts come, there are 3 types, right? They come from the past. Many of you think about past. What happened in the past? Many of you think about it. No? Yes? No? They come, whether we like it or not, right? So if you go into the past, try and remember at least one thing that has been good in your past. I have known people who say, oh, in my 60 years, tell me something nice. Like, I never had a good experience. That's not possible, is it? There are always nice experiences. So when you think of the past, remember good things, good memories that come from the past. When you think of the present, what can you do? And here, I love the breathing. That's an answer to everything. Yeah, once you quiet yourself. Sorry? I like that. You know, they say when it comes to learning, very difficult things, very complicated things, our brains have a way of leaving them aside because we can't remember them. It's too much for us, especially at this time in the world, right? There is so much happening. You don't want to process too much. Simple things that you can remember. And they say, remember in threes. If you add the 4th thing to that, it becomes difficult to remember. So just 3 things. I like that one. Only one, breathe. Start with there because that's where the focus starts, right? So when you think of the present, be thankful for what is in front of you. When you think of the future, think positively. Things are going to be okay. We don't run the universe. We don't know who runs the universe. But there is a secret. When you breathe, focus, center yourself, and become quiet. You are in a space in which you're one with the universe. Do you understand what I'm saying? That space of silence, that space of quietness is the space in which God works. That is the space in which the universe is in connection with the self. So automatically when you are in that space, things are going to be okay. Why? If they are not okay, you will be able to transform it with your own insight into a blessing. Makes sense? So that breathing is the beginning of transforming everything in life into a blessing. So inhale blessings, exhale gratitude. Let's do it one more time. Sit alert. Don't allow thoughts to run. Wherever they are, bring them back to your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. Any thought, you can tell, I'll come back to you later. Right now, I focus on my breathing. become aware that I am the observer of the breath. I am the one who breathes through this body, but I'm also the one who observes my breath. I am the one who sees through these eyes, but I'm also the one who observes myself seeing through these eyes. I am the one who hears the sound, but I am also the observer. Seated within this body, I am the energy of life. Works through this body. Your energy peacefully, loving, and joyful. I am the living energy within this body. I bring my attention back to my breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly, I bring my energy back, my awareness back to this body and to the space around me. Any questions? Anyone who wants to share anything?
Comments in chat if you want to do that.
Unless anyone in the room has anything,
Anybody
maybe they
here?
will warm up.
Anybody?
This is Herman. I made a couple of commentaries in the chat. I don't know if you usually go over the chat.
Anyone have anything they want to share while I try to get this up again?
Okay, then.
Brother
then
Eric,
I'll-
do you have the chat?
See, it says that we should give first priority here. They are seated right here, so the mic needs to go here. Anyone wants to share anything? I inspired you to become too quiet, I guess.
Can I possibly, can I share? Am I being heard? Hello?
Yes, you're being heard.
Good, Luis?
Okay.
Good.
Yes, well, originally I said that I made commentaries in the
I
chat.
know the answer to all of them is breathing.
I guess she's
No,
not.
it is. Yes.
I just want to say that today I woke up and it was the most beautiful blue sky. And the sun was shining. And it was so much warm that it made my chest explode with joy. I had plans on things to do and people to see that wanted to all be together and not alone. And to be part of a group of people feeling the same way. For me, just made me so lonely in this world of so much unnecessary noise and drama that for some reason our higher power has put this in our heads, but it's not necessary. We must enjoy the beauty around us all the time. The leaves that fall on the ground, and when you step on them, they turn to dust. Just even breathing that is, for me, so nice. And this is just such a nice way to have my
Thank
joy
you.
is.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else want to comment, verbalize, ask a question? You have some time.
There, Indian.
I think that just being in the present, when you talk about the present, just focusing, on whatever I'm doing. It could be a shower, it could be doing the dishes, it could be walking, it could be looking at the leaves on the ground or on the trees. That alone is like a kind of meditation that that really calms us, grounds us, and gives us the place where we can get insights from.
Definitely. I agree. Um, when you're not able to just sit quiet by yourself, we talked about one method of becoming quiet, right? Which is focus on the breathing. There are other ways to do it too. One is music. Sometimes a piece of music can lift you up because you just need that little lift so you can go into that silence. Sometimes a piece of music can do that to you. I call that inspired music. It really does that to you. Sometimes it can be a book. Sometimes it's nature, like you were saying, right? Just this beautiful day, you step out, you look at the colors, you look at the sun, you're inspired into that quietness. So there are different gateways. Once you get there, the idea is to just stay there for a few moments That's where the experience is. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Anyone else?
Hi,
I
can you
just
hear
wanna
me? Can
say
I
that,
ask a question?
I've discovered writing as a tool that
Uh-huh.
immediately centers me. And forgive me, I've said this before, but the secret that I learned and taught when I was teaching is that the pen moves so much more slowly than the brain, that you have to stay focused, and the brain will come up with ideas because you've focused it. And that's when I get inspiration and insight.
Very
And
beautiful.
it's just, I can't think of anything else when I'm writing, and I do write, I try to do it daily. And I write to God or Baba and tell him what's up very early in the morning. And I start my day within an hour. I start the day with writing. And that, especially when I have that chattering moment where the brain just wants to take off and get in a rocket ship and I can't control it. Boom, the writing really helps me. So even if you feel you can't write, I mean, no one's going to read it. No punctuation, no commas, nothing.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just let go and see what happens, and let the writing, I let the writing carry me forward rather than thinking and writing. You know, how many of you grew up with thinking and thinking and writing? It's not the way to write, because if I
Yeah.
am just going to write, that gives the power, the inspiration just comes to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They say, yeah, that's what I was talking about, right? Like many of the writers of the old Indian texts, they say they never thought and wrote. They just sat down and allowed the pen to move from that silence. So they're supposed to be the greatest texts. I agree. Even painting, they do like that, right? They allow the painting to come, the vision to come. Very nice. Thank you.
And, you know, I think one of the most interesting things you've said tonight is that, you know, you asked how many of you blessed other people, but don't most people say, God bless you, not just when someone sneezes. But I know I used to feel I didn't have the power, that I had to go to God for the power. Who am I to bless someone else? And what I've learned here is I take the power from what I've learned here, and I use that power, this wonderful free education we're all getting here, right? Even tonight, because of Sister Sandhya. And to be able to just move forward and really, I mean, I feel it. You do that, especially with an enemy or someone that you're not, you know, you're having trouble with. I shouldn't say enemy, we don't know. But if you do that for 2 weeks, watch what happens. Just before you go to sleep, just think of the person and just bless them. The vibrational energy, right? Am I right? Would you agree
But
with that?
also, when you become quiet, you are in a space where good and God work. So automatically the blessings will travel, your thoughts will travel. So that's the space in which all that happens. The space of noise is where other things are happening. That space of silence within us is the space of connection to God and good. So from that space, a thought that is generated has the power to flow anywhere. It has that lift.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for such a beautiful evening. Raj, would you like to add anything to? No, you're just a watcher tonight. Okay. And anyone else before we close? Who has a comment or a question? I've lost my chat on Zoom. so-
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, Herman.
No, this is Om.
Hi, Om.
Hi.
Sure, we hear you.
Thank you. So just a beautiful session today. I learned a lot. And you know, when your mind is quiet, and that's when the blessing tends to come to you. But one of the question I have is for Sister Sandhya. How do you, well, at the time of when your mind is quiet, you kind of recognize the blessings you have, and then you express gratitude. But how do you earn blessings? What do you do to earn blessing? Just quietening your mind will do it, or there's something more you need to do to earn blessing? Any comments that Sister Sandhya you might have will be helpful.
So if we are talking about earning blessings from others, do good. That's one way. But mostly what I focused on today was it's usually not others who don't bless us. It's that we fail to bless ourselves. So I was mostly talking about how do I bless myself? How do I make anything that comes towards me a blessing for myself? And that's why I was saying it depends on my insight, how I look at things. You know, sometimes we have this feeling that someone has done something to me that's not good. But turn around and see, you will see that that's what helped you a lot because something else shifted inside. So it's possible to make anything and everything that happens, that is said to us, into a blessing. That is the idea of being in that space of quietness. There is no one in the world that can harm you. Who harms us the most is usually ourselves. So that's where the transformation has to come. It doesn't matter what anyone is giving me. I can make it a blessing for myself. If someone gives you a lot of good wishes, that's easy. That's good. You already have it. But when someone is not giving you good wishes, you can make that also a blessing. That's the idea of being in that space where transformation can occur. I hope I answer your question. Harmini.
Beautiful. And I need to interrupt because before you Zoomers leave, we have a very special program here on Sunday, 3 to 5, this coming Sunday for Diwali. And there will be a big celebration and we will have, we're having downstairs also, right? We will have,
12 little
entertainment.
dancers.
Well,
with us.
is that right? And some food?
Sure.
Okay, so please do come. We are all prepared for a big festival on Sunday, 3 to 5. I'll be here. How many of you can clear just 3 to 5 and can join us for a piece of the good? Good. We've got a lot of people coming and Zoomers. We look forward to perhaps seeing you in person. This will be only in person. Is that correct?
That I don't know. I think we will have Zoom also.
Yeah.
Right.
Sister Tina, is
Diwali.
it Zoom also? Diwali on Sunday? Can't hear you.
We haven't sent the Zoom link yet, but we will.
Okay, we will have a Zoom link for you.
It's the same as the inside.
It's
the
the
same
same.
Zoom link as the inside session.
920-291-213, password Harmony. Okay, all right. And if you can come in person, it's really going to be delightful. There'll be a lot of people here too. Okay, good. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Email. Yeah, yeah, you can register on email. Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Did you get the email?
Did you get it yet? Did you register already? Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so if you're not on the mailing list, I think most of you are, sign up in the back. And those of you who can come in person, you should be getting an email. Okay, good. All right, so of course, for those of you who came this evening, we have our usual little blessing, if you like, and Toli. And I think we've done all our meditation for the evening. Special thanks to you because I so enjoyed this evening. I needed this tonight myself, really. And you never disappoint. Yes. Next week, we are not meeting. I had announced that before. No meeting next week. Zoomers, enjoy your Thanksgiving celebration. And we will see you in 2 weeks for Brother Eric, right? Brother Eric? There he is. Okay. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.